What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Rage, and we are back today with the fantastic edition of Living Mummy finally joining Marvel Strike Force today. So remember, most of us should already have his full red stars unlocked from the events that we've had to build this up, similar to Sebastian Shaw. Now, with respect to Living Mummy, he is the next member of Brimstone. And remember, with Brimstone, they're going to be important for the unlock of Sentry, as they'll have an important part with going through the Battle World 2.0 return, but as well we saw in the data mines that the Brimstone team is going to be very pivotal to the unlock of Blue Marvel, especially if you want to take advantage of war bonuses, as they are the next echelon here of war offense, being able to shred through many of the meta defenses that you'll see. So without further ado, guys, let's get into it. Let's take a look at his kit preemptively, what upgrades we highly recommend, and as well as what potential ISO-8 is going to make the most sense for Living Mummy, on top of the fact that obviously Brimstone is going to be super important. And remember, with Brimstone also being the last team for Chapter 2, there's likely going to be value as we kick things off for Chapter 3, as we saw with Fantastic Four MCU being both the last team of Chapter 1 and the first team of Chapter 2. All right. Basic attack, Crypt Strike. So attacking primary target for 100% damage. When this character does perform an ISO-8 attack, he's also going to be making sure that it is a piercing. So something to be noted there in terms of what the ISO-8 is going to be. I like the fact that they've added the ISO-8 verbiage here, because this is nice for us theory crafting and thinking about, what exactly he's going to be, right? If this character has revive once, he's also going to be gaining counterattack. When he does perform an ISO-8 attack, he's also going to be counterattacking or assisting, and as well as gaining speed up with that revive one. So that revive is going to be a really important mechanic to what his kit is going to be doing. So not a lot of things going on really with this basic attacker, just some additional damage here and there to the primary target, and then the T4 upgrade, some additional damage. So save your T4 mats. It's a pretty boring upgrade here, and it's only really a cherry on top if you want to ensure that your upgrade here is going to be optimizing everything for him. But remember, he's a protector. He's not going to be focused on damage whatsoever. So I would just stop at level 6 to save your T4 mats if you're trying to conserve that as well. Calling the Obelisk, special ability, attacking primary and adjacent targets for percentage damage. On top of that, he's also going to be providing a heal to himself and Brimstone for his special here. So very notable. He's going to be that protector role, but also having a bit of sustain for the team. Gaining counterattack, additional healing. He's going to be providing evasion, defense up, as well as the cleansing here of negative conditions from his fellow Brimstone allies. And then finally, with the T4 upgrade, applying Safeguard to ensure that the buffs are protected, and that way the team is not getting these stripped away from any kind of opposing effect. So this one is a really, really good upgrade. Highly recommend. You got to make sure that Safeguard is always ensured on the team, and that is going to be making sure that the buffs obviously are sustained. So great T4 recommendation right there. Ultimate ability, Wrath of Antiquity. Attacking the primary and adjacent targets for percent damage once again, and similar to the special, we're seeing a bit of a heal here for himself and Brimstone. It's going to allow that additional sustain. We're going to get evasion once again, additional healing. Speed up is also going to apply, and then this is actually where he's going to be gaining his revive mechanic, because he provides that for himself on top of the heal and evasion. So I like the fact that he's providing a lot of natural protection for this team, and this is how they're going to stay afloat. He's not going to be dealing damage, but he is going to be the foundation of the team, because without this kind of protection, without the evasion and mitigation of damage, I mean, the team might not be able to last long, right? So very, very important to note. And obviously with him having a revive mechanic also means that he can sustain and comfortably be continuing to heal the team, which is very notable, guys. So special ultimate, definitely make sure you upgrade him, because it makes his kit fully usable and allows him to thrive, right, regardless of the game mode, which is awesome to see. And then last but not least, Mummy's Curse passive ability. So on spawn, he does gain a bit of counterattack for some additional DPS if need be on any turn. If this character does have revive once and he does not have a taunt, he's going to be gaining a taunt. So notable here, because that means this taunt is essentially going to trigger the moment he does have that revive. And then on revive, once that happens, he's going to be clearing negative effects from himself and Brimstone, in addition to having an additional 25% of his max HP being provided to Brimstone allies. So that's massive, guys. In war, Brimstone allies cannot gain taunt while this character has revived once. This character also cannot gain bleed or regen. So very notable there. And that means you really want to use his ultimate ASAP, because especially in war, he's going to be basically preventing any kind of bleed or regen being applied to him, which is massive, guys. Just any kind of risk of damage, right? And as we level this ability up, there's going to be some more passive bonuses being applied respectively in war. He's going to be gaining, you know, the prevention here of ability block, stun, vulnerable even. Wow, my goodness. He gains additional damage reduction, more resistance to obviously oppose those enemy debuffs. We have also the safeguarding here actually, in addition to a heal for himself on the max HP. And then finally, this is massive, guys. On spawn, gaining revive once. So never mind, scratch that. We don't need to use the ultimate to gain revive, because by upgrading it with the T4 here, and this exists also outside of war, guys, he's gonna be gaining a guaranteed revive once, and Brimstone allies also gaining a 7% passive speed. So what we have on Brimstone right now is more of a surface level kind of speed, because this is naturally going to make everybody on his team faster with Brimstone allies, right? So just factor that in. That's pretty massive, guys. I don't know if they considered that when they gave, you know, I think Damon actually has already a really quick speed, so this is going to even boost it even more. So I think this is the most important upgrade right here. Not so much the revive, but the fact that his Brimstone allies are actually gaining, especially in a turn-based game like Marvel Strike Force, speed is everything. So get this passive upgraded ASAP. Special and ultimate makes sense as well. And honestly, I can see a few things being applied here. So first and foremost, each of his abilities having a healing aspect. I mean, if you're seeing that your team is not able to survive as much, the ISO-8 healer can be very, very useful, especially if you don't have him at higher stars. That sustain is going to be important. If you do feel that Living Mummy is also dying in combat and not staying alive as long as he should, I think an ISO-8 fortifier might also make sense, right? Especially since we are going to be able to test this out with the last and final Blastar Scourge. I think that's going to be very notable to switch between ISO-8 healer or fortifier depending on the situation, depending on the number of packs or scourges that we have activated. So for myself personally, because we're using them for events, I think I am going to focus more on that ISO-8 healer, just because we don't really have a bit of that sustain on Brimstone just yet. And remember, they're going to be providing a lot of value also on Battle World as well. So I think that sustain and healing is going to be important to ensure that the battle continues. So there you guys have it. Living Mummy, an exciting addition to Marvel Strike Force. Do let me know down in the comments below, guys. Thank you for your time as always, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.